Gabón tiene el uso de la palabra.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, Gabon aligns itself with the statement delivered by Comoros on behalf of the African Group. Mr. Chair, as a state party to the International Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination, Gabon pays close attention to the United Nations General Assembly's recommendations on resolutions addressing the global issue of racism, racial discrimination, and related intolerance. In this regard, the Constitution of Gabon punishes all forms of racism as well as ethnic, religious, and racial discrimination. Beyond the current constitutional framework, the culture of dialogue, the culture of tolerance, the culture of peace, as well as the acceptance of others, core values at the basis of the government of Gabon, inherited from the founding fathers of our republic, help authorities in preventing this global phenomenon from spreading all across the country. Mr. Chair, Gabon remains firmly convinced that specialized national institutions as well as national and regional organizations must be taken advantage of to productively fight and eliminate all forms of racial discrimination. In this particular context, a draft law on suppression of xenophobia, racism, tribalism, and religious intolerance in Gabon has been submitted as we speak to the National Assembly for appropriate examination. His Excellency Ali Bongo Ondimba, the President of Gabon, strongly encouraged the Centre National de la Recherche Scientifique et Technologique last year to carry out a study on xenophobia and racism, which outcome was that racism or xenophobia barely exists in Gabon. In fact, for decades now, considered as a land of opportunity to many, Gabon has been welcoming numerous migrants and asylum seekers, not only from Africa, but also from all around the world. My country, also a state party to the 1951 Geneva Convention on the Protection of Refugees, grants them national status. Mr. Chair, the Gabonese Inequality Observatory, put in place since 2017 to fight discrimination and inequalities, still represents to this day an important tool that helps in shaping government policy. Mr. Chair, in conclusion, I would simply like to strongly reiterate that racism, racial discrimination, and xenophobia, being dangerous threats to peace, national and international security, require today an increased mobilization by the international community. I thank you, Mr. Chair.